My name is Carl,
My name's Oscar,
and this is Who Would Watch This?
where we review bad films and decide who would watch this.
Well, apart from us. Alright, Oscar, what are we reviewing today?
We are reviewing The Kissing Booth.
The Kissing Booth. What's The Kissing Booth about?
When Elle Evans, Joey King, a pretty late bloomer who's never been kissed, decides to run a kissing booth at her high school spring carnival, she unexpectedly finds herself locking lips with her secret crush, the ultimate bad boy, Noah Flynn. Sparks fly, but there's one little problem. Noah just happens to be the brother of her best friend, Lee, and is absolutely off limits according to the rules of their friendship pact. Elle's life is turned upside down when she realizes she must ultimately make her choice. Follow the rules or follow her heart. Based on Beth Rickles' self-published coming-of-age novel that became an international sensation, The Kissing Booth is a Netflix film written and directed by Vince Marcello.
I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce his name. Man, that plot summary makes it sound much more cohesive
Oh
than
my
it is.
god, yeah, that's not true.
No, it's not. The film currently sits at 16% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6 out of 10 on IMDb with 55,000 reviews.
Now, Carl, this, according to IMDb, is not a bottom film. This is,
No, so...
okay. So why are we talking
Well, it's
about
not
this?
okay. It's 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's fair enough. That's 6. People very much love this.
Yeah, so I picked this because I've seen this film far too many times. I think if I do an actual count of it, this was probably my 6th viewing of the film. And I watched it back when it premiered in 2018. So it's taken them 2 years to pump out a sequel.
So you've been watching this every 4 months for 2 years.
I guess so. That's far too... I think I watched it 3 times in its first month of release.
Why is that?
What
captivated?
So terrible,
The
and I
story?
cannot wait to get into every decision it makes. Anytime I'm just drunk with people, and we're like, should we chuck something on and do the kissing booth? They're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's incredible. Put on the kissing booth. I've got so many notes today.
You've been pent up and you're like, I need to make a podcast.
But the reason that I decided to latch onto us doing this and put in a little bit of a pause for us doing the bottom 100 on IMDb is because the sequel comes out this week.
That's very
exciting. And I would love for us to review the sequel next week. I contemplated me being like, should we just go into the sequel, you don't watch the first one, and then we work back from there. But I thought there were too many things that excited me about the first one.
And now watching this, I can say the sequel, I've got no idea what's going to happen.
Neither do I. This movie it ends on such a dramatic note.
Oh my goodness.
Like it's a romance drama.
It's like La La Land. It's like, I guess we will never know. It's a star-crossed lovers, but it's not that. The rest of the film is insane.
So you had never seen this one before?
I'd never seen it. I'd heard good things. I thought it was
You'd heard good things.
I'd heard, my girlfriend really liked it. And I was like, it's got a 6. Maybe it's just a bit kind of like a weak Mean Girls kind of plot. Sort of, okay, but...
It really is, truth be told, unlike anything.
Yeah.
It's based on a Wattpad story.
Which is sort of fan fiction, sort of...
Yeah, huge fan fiction site that people just write. They write continuation pieces of some of their favourite stories. There's a lot of Harry Potter continuations on there, Twilight stuff. If you've ever seen The Martian is a Wattpad book. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Adapted into a book and then the movie.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then that author never had to go back to... Well, I think he was a scientist or something, because the whole point was that it was, at the time that it was written, was very accurate to how Mars worked and how it would work if you were stranded up there, which is why people got so invested.
So good things can come from this website.
Yeah, absolutely. He has his second follow-up wasn't as good as The Martian, but was alright. That was Artemis, which was supposed to be adapted by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Oh, I love that.
But they had a huge falling out at Disney. And then Disney bought Fox, and Fox has the rights to that Andy Weir novel, and then Disney booted them off the project.
Which is crushing.
Yep. And so then Andy Weir, as a concession prize, then gave them, before his third book has even come out, his new one, which has Ryan Gosling, which goes into production after quarantine.
I'm so excited. I absolutely love everything they've touched.
Yeah, right. I think they have. It's a shame they're not doing Artemis. Artemis was a heist film on the moon.
You're joking.
And it's just a very fun novel. Have you seen The Martian?
Yeah, I've seen The Martian.
Martian's also just a ton of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, and the Artemis wasn't as good, but it was a lot of fun, and I think they would have brought a lot to it. And then I haven't read the third one; it's not out yet. But good things can come from Wattpad.
Yes,
I've droned on a little bit, but forgive me.
Fun. No, exactly, and the kissing booth has also come from that. And I think
definitely on the same page.
Exactly,
Here.
Martian kissing booth. Man, they're perfect.
Yeah. All right, so shall we just dive on into it? Okay, so if
the film just dives in on it, it's like, hey.
So if you have not watched The Kissing Booth or seen it, don't know anything about it, I myself am going to bring you up to speed. That's right, I found the opening transcript of the film.
Oh my word!
And I'm going to be bringing this to life for you,
Thank
the
God.
listener.
I'd say go watch it, but now we have Carl reading it, which is, I think, better.
So, for those who haven't seen it, the movie begins with a very intense, quick-paced, 3-page monologue of this character's, played by Joey King's, life up until her being, 16 or 17. Yeah. And I'm going to do my best to emulate it for the listener.
Now, Carl, we don't have sad music and happy music, so I think you really have to go into... It was a sad moment. Play it up. When it's a happy moment, you play it up.
Oh, I will. I am going to be at 110 for this. Alright. So let me get you up to speed. First Christmas, I remember I was 6. I got a Barbie dance party. Lee got a scooter. Broke my leg riding Lee's scooter. Had my car signed by Lee, who bought me ice cream to make up for breaking my leg. Dressed as a cowboy for Halloween. Lee went as a doctor. Learned how to ride a bike. Learned how to swim. Got protected by Lee's older brother Noah, who chased off some bullies who were harassing us. Had to pay protection tax, though. Discovered the place that we love to dance most. Then, imagine some pop music going on.
A bit of fun. It's cool.
Boom, they start dancing. Watch Lee catch his first fish. Watch Noah in his first fistfight. He won. Dressed as a fireman for Halloween. Lee went as some weird bird. Found out that my mum was sick.
Oh.
Went to visit her in hospital for the first time. Tried to get used to seeing her there. Got in a fight with Lee over the best dancer. Made up by getting him ice cream. Got in a fight with Noah for beating up Lee. Made up with Noah by letting him fix my bike. He's so handy. Discovered that I wasn't going to be a fashion icon. Discovered I'm good at sports. Had a tough talk with Dad. Sat with Mum in the hospital. I tried to help her put makeup on. Not much help. Hey. Held her hand a long time. Only cried when she was asleep. Tried to score my first kiss with Randy Melrose. Wasn't exactly a love connection. Watch Noah get really cute. Watch Noah in yet another fistfight. He won. Got my period. Finally! Went as a pirate for Halloween. Lee was Black Swan. Said goodbye to my mum. Had a lot to say. Told her all about Noah. Watch Noah ride his motorbike for the first time. Watch Lee try to ride Noah's motorbike. Watch Noah teach Lee a lesson for sitting on his motorbike. Celebrated with Lee when he got his first car. Learned that girls can be really mean. Played 7 minutes in heaven. Fail. Got a bride. Suddenly did need. Wondered why I still hadn't been kissed yet or even been on a date. No big deal, I guess. Realised I had a crush on Noah. Got over my crush on Noah, mostly. Everybody holding... Oh, okay. I started reading stage directions. I did. I think that's about it. It's going to be a good night. And that's me today, savouring the last fleeting memories of our summer at Lee's totally awesome house. It's moments like this that make me wish things could stay this way forever.
That is the perfect, sum up of what this film is. Tonally insane.
I'll tell you what, I had a ton of issues with the over-enthusiastic voiceover and intense graphics and music cues that go with that monologue. But having just read that myself, I was like, oh, she's quite talented.
Oh, yeah. She smashed that.
You
know what? It is a good film. I'm happy with that.
10 out of 10. Who would watch this? Us. Get out of here.
Next one.
It's a pretty insane opening monologue, switching from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows.
I don't think it works, because it doesn't... Really
it doesn't.
It doesn't come... The dead mother trope, cliche, doesn't really affect the story.
No, so they're like written in chapters, and then they're just kind of, any author writes a chapter here and there, so they come out randomly.
Yeah.
My only understanding, I reckon, is that you just forget about things you've written.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is where I left off, and I'll start typing up the new one, and then that gets uploaded. And then you're like, well, this has no cohesion. You're just continuing a story every other week.
And that's really what it feels
like.
Yeah. This film goes
I'd
from
say
one extreme to just such an other extreme, and it's just insane.
This movie has very little to do with a kissing booth.
Furious. Because we can get into it, but at the middle is like a bit of a kissing booth, and then it gets reprised at the end. It's said like, oh, we all remember the kissing booth. And to these main characters and us, we remember the kissing booth. But to the rest of the high schoolers,
wow, it makes no sense that they latch onto a kissing booth. The very spoiled rich kid.
Oh my god, I don't know. So, I think I looked into this. I think it's filmed in South Africa. Yeah.
What?
I think that's how it... So it's filmed in South Africa.
Yeah.
But it's meant to be LA. But I think that's where they got the massive house from.
They got the massive house from South Africa or LA, and then stitched it into the movie.
I think it's stitched into the movie.
So
that's why some of the stuff is so bougie. Because they're so rich. They're so disgustingly rich. I don't know what the family does.
Yeah, it's shot in Cape Town, South Africa.
There we go, yeah.
Is there not another Cape Town in America, and IMDb screwed it up?
No, that's definitely it, because it's the massive house... And I think the school was filmed in South Africa.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Must have had a huge tax write-off.
I think so.
To make this more cheaper.
But it feels weird, doesn't it? They went to South Africa to film that. Because the house looks amazing. It doesn't really fit because, I don't know, they're meant to be...
What do his parents do?
It was Molly Ringwald. That's another thing we can chat about.
But in universe, she's Molly Ringwald?
Well, they play...
That's how it would work. It's her house sound because she was in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, she's very rich from that film.
Yeah.
We still watch this day. They also play the song during the movie, and I was a bit like, is that...
Yeah, they definitely do a big callback to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Because she's in it. The thing that really bothers me is the balcony doesn't have a
railing.
Yeah. They just jump off it into the pool.
I think a couple of scenes they jump from...
Oh, yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
He can injure himself. I don't know who the stunt double was for it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate it. Terrified every time he jumps. You need to imagine a 60-foot drop into a
quite distant from the balcony,
it is.
So you're really getting a run up and jumping and just barely getting in there.
What'd be crazy is I would open the second movie, he misses.
Wow. And he has to get a kissing booth again to raise money for his medical treatment?
No, he flat out dies.
Oh my word.
And she just has to deal with that loss. And it puts strain on their relationship.
But Noah's back and she's...
Oh my god, and Noah is an absolute snack! Yeah. So, do you recognise any of these actors?
Well, I've just watched Euphoria.
Yep.
And I recognise Noah, and he's the angry bully in that show.
He is. He's fucking huge.
He is, I think, 6'10" or something ridiculous. He's an absolute hunk, and the film knows it. He is. The film is so horny for Noah, and aren't we all?
Absolutely. I'd hate to be his little brother.
Oh god, the little brother is. I imagine he's 6'2", but compared to him,
yeah, right. And have you ever seen the movie Super 8 by J.J. Abrams?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Because the main character of that is the little brother. That's why I know Joel Courtney. He is in that. And I was a big... I liked Super 8 when I saw it, and I've seen it a few times since. So I think actually that might have been the reason I watched this, was I went, that kid actor was alright in Super 8.
I like that. Super 8, I remember J.J. Abrams, they wanted to make a Portal movie, the video game, and they were going to combine Super 8 and Portal together.
Oh.
Very strange. It kind of got canned. I don't think Super 8 did that well.
No, it underperformed. I actually think it would do really well now.
Is it sort of like a Stranger Things?
Yes, it's very Stranger Things, and it's very It.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably before its time. It's produced by Spielberg, but it's very Spielbergy.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a horror E.T. I think it would do really well now. It wouldn't surprise me if it was doing well, on Netflix and things like that.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a fun kids swearing, doing kind of...
Yeah.
bad things in it. But anyway, so this kid actor was quite good in that.
Yeah.
And then I've seen Joey King in like lots of things. She pops up.
Yeah, she got nominated for an Emmy for, I'm not sure, the one where the mother pretends...
Oh yeah, that she's
I
sick.
can't remember what that show's called.
No, neither, but it's got like Patricia Arquette in it.
Yeah.
And then she's in like Dark Knight Rises and things like that.
She is.
And she dresses as Catwoman in this movie
Yes,
too.
I didn't realise that. Oh, I guess it's Batman.
Yeah.
That's an annoying plot point. We'll jump into that.
I cannot wait to get into it. I'm so excited for this movie. All right, so when he jumps off of the house,
Yes.
you know, that 600, 700 foot drop.
Yeah.
It's like 5 cuts of him like running up. It's like he runs up. Oh, he's back. He runs up. Oh, he's back. He's falling down. Cut. He's falling down. He's falling down. Then he's in the pool and he flips out of it. And he's like, ooh, ew. So Noah walks in and he's a fucking hunk.
Yes.
And we are now introduced into the rules of the friendship that these two kids have.
I'm not sure how. I tried to Google it. It
Same.
seems like there's nothing online.
Yeah.
But
like, I'm not. Is it added for the movie and not from maybe the Wattpad? Because I couldn't even find anything on it. I thought maybe they were all written out on the Wattpad. But
I think it was just a plot device. They were just like,
that's not good. It's not used enough for it to come back.
no, it always surprised me when they're like, the rules. I'm like, oh, that's right. You guys were abiding by those. And
The rules are fucked up.
Yeah, they're really weird. The first rule, I think I've written it down. It's the nutsest rule. Something like you tell each other your birthday wishes on your birthday, and maybe the rules were established on their birthday. But if I'm making a rule for our friendship, that's like rule 48.
Yeah. It's my absolute favorite thing, and I'm pretty sure I wrote it down in this abundance of notes. Rule number 1 is always tell your friends. Sorry, always tell your best. You can only tell your best friend your birthday wish.
Yeah.
But rule number 8 is always be happy for your friend's success, which should be rule number 1.
100%. It's like they ran out the Constitution. We're like, let's just knock out the first things.
Pretty much. You know, it has the exact same. You know, I actually think this movie has like has a political stance on being like rules they can change. Get rid of your Second Amendment.
Oh, but I love the third. That's nothing thing about the amendment. Just like, wow, the military's in the house. Just like, that was third?
It's so, because at the end it's all like, what are the point of these rules? We made them when we were so young, and these two kids are like, you're right, maybe we shouldn't abide by these rules. And I'm like, yeah, like your fucking constitution.
So, jumps in the pool, Elle sees Noah. Now,
yeah. And Noah calls her some name.
It's Smelly, I think.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, he knows that I hate that, but then I know something about him. Yeah, good one, Noah. And it's the voiceover's like, he hates being called Noah. And I'm like,
what's his name?
What?
Isn't his name?
name's Noah.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't just like Nick. So his name is Noah.
His name is Noah Flynn. I think maybe he prefers to just be called Flynn. But also, why would that grind your gears?
Exactly, it's your name.
Hey, Oscar.
Carl!
I called him that because I know he hates it.
No, you know my name's Flynn. Alright.
And then rule number 2 is don't share secrets.
God, I hate the rules. I really hate the rules.
The rules have already broken you.
Yeah, they've broken me. There's a plot point later in the film where ice cream solves everything.
Oh, yeah.
And the film's like, no, it doesn't. And then it does.
And then what's the point?
The
The other thing is that really, and watching this movie so many times, that absolutely grinds my gears, is the two main actor and actress laugh so much. They're just laughing so much, just like the two friends. So Lee and Elle.
They're best friends. They laugh a lot.
Constantly laughing. Like, how many times does Lee fall in the pool in that opening?
Oh my god, he gets thrown in a ball. And again, a ball can hit you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Noah, because he's a football, I don't know, he's something. I hate that he's so vaguely just handsome.
Yeah.
He's like a genius. He goes to Harvard. But yeah, he gets thrown into the pool. Then Elle throws a ball and he falls in the pool. Just so much stuff.
And then he gets out and then she throws him in the pool and they're all like, ha!
Cut next scene.
Yeah, pretty much. But we also established, because we said Noah is 6'10".
Yep.
How tall do we think Joey King is?
Oh my god, she could be 6, and still not. She must be.
She's got to be 5 foot.
No, yeah, because she comes up to his torso. Essentially.
Yeah, she's so tiny,
Yeah.
and He's such a giant, and it scares me that he is just going to break this girl.
Oh, 100%.
If she's in The Dark Knight Rises, he is Bane.
Oh, he's
like in comparison. What do we think her height is? I'm looking it up.
I'm gonna say 5'6".
She's 1.6 meters. I don't know what that is in feet.
That's, I think about like the lower end of 5 foot.
Yeah, he's 1.95. He's just shy of being 2 meters tall.
Jesus Christ!
Wow, that's
insane.
Absolutely insane. How tall do we think Joel Courtney is?
Lee.
We're just gonna go down at Joel Courtney. How tall is he?
Yeah, that's the new podcast.
Yeah, it is.
How tall are people?
Zendaya. How tall is she? Jonah Bobo. How tall is
We
he?
can't do this. All right.
Mackenzie Foyce. How tall?
Stop.
Patricia Arquette.
Shut
How
up.
tall is she?
You haven't even answered the question. You've just named actors and actresses and then how tall are they?
So anyway, it cuts and she's wearing like a very, very small skirt.
Yeah, because so before this, it's not really established, but we assume she's unpopular.
Yeah.
She wears this skirt because I think she rips it, and now she's popular for the rest of the film.
It's the skirt makes her popular?
Yeah, I think boys and girls are going, oh, you're attractive, you can now be popular.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't sit well with
It
me.
felt creepy. I kind of assumed this film at the start. I assumed it was like G. I don't know why. I assumed it was like kind of like.
You get a PG vibe from it. I think.
I got a PG vibe, and then when the skirt came in, and my favorite character, Tuppen, grabs her ass. I'm like, ooh, is this PG?
Get out of here, Tuppen!
Yeah. No. Lee goes, what the hell, Tuppen? And I lost it.
He sounds like a hobbit.
He's like, what the hell, Tuppen?
Tuppen, stop touching my girl.
Yeah, so...
You know that Mary Poppins song's written about him?
Shut up.
Feed the birds. Tuppen, a bag. Tuppen.
Stop touching me, Carl.
Tuppen, a bag.
We're moving on. So...
Feed
No,
the
you're
birds.
not. Stop. Alright.
Tuppen.
So she's not popular, but we don't see that. So now she's popular. And it's very strange, because then there's really no adversity for her.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's really weird, because I think we're also led to believe Lee is unpopular.
Yeah.
Though his brother is super popular. And then it confuses me because all throughout the movie, they just do really popular activities.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it looks like they're surrounded by many friends.
Well, Lee's hosting his party because they're at his house.
Yeah.
So he's...
And everybody's turning up, and we see Lee with other friends.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bizarre to me, but I also want to talk about how when she wears those shorts and Tuppen is all like, I want that ass. Tuppen want that ass.
Tuppen also is like a 40-year-old man.
Tuppen, look, you know what he looks like? He looks like the lead of Money Plane. He's that huge, he's got a square jaw.
Somehow Lee is the smallest and weakest, and he still looks like a 20-year-old man.
Yeah, like Lee's probably still like 20 years old, but he's also still like built.
Yeah.
Like you see him without his shirt on, you're all like, no, he's still like
very attractive.
Yeah. But we also see that Noah is very violent.
Oh my god. We are rooting for this character who obviously has an anger problem.
Oh, he has so many violent spells.
Isn't that
I'm so frightened for every character whenever Noah's on screen.
That intro is like he beats up in the 3 times he beats people up. And just really...
And she's constantly like, he won. I love it if it was just like, got my period. Noah beat my mum to death. Got my period a second time. Got a new skirt.
Yeah. Noah beat
Noah beat my father to death.
He claimed me.
He pees on her.
Oh
like,
my word.
This is my property now.
He is so violent. And we're rooting for him.
Oh.
I thought Lee and Elle were get together.
Yeah, it makes you think that.
Because they're very good friends. And I like they didn't go down the gay route, like cliche. because, Lee gets a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. You thought that Lee was going to be gay?
I thought they were going to be like, hey, Elle, I've got something I got to tell you.
Ah,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Just like, glad they went to go down that route, but they went down a lot of worse routes. The angry boyfriend we're meant to root for.
They went, okay, so what haven't we done before? We've definitely had girl falls in love with her best friend. Let's do girl falls in love with one of the most violent characters in rom-com history.
He is the most confusing character because, is he an athlete? I don't think it says he's anything.
You know what I feel like he would be? A lacrosse player.
Yes, definitely.
That's the vibe I get
because
from
they're so rich, and that's a very rich
so
man.
filthy fucking rich.
But he's also gotten to Harvard,
Mm.
which is an academic college. I don't think they have a sports program.
Yeah.
So he's a genius that beats up people.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
It's like the Mary Sue of men.
Yeah, he's insane. But we're rooting for him.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And then after this, we also get introduced to the OMGs. Who are the OMGs?
Oh man, they are the most... It's such... I don't know, it kind of worked in Mean Girls, like 20 years ago. Yeah. But...
Mean Girls is terrific.
Mean Girls is terrific.
Mean Girls is incredibly smart and clever and very funny and surprisingly still very relevant in terms of its comedy.
Whereas those girls, I think, are they're clever about being mean. Whereas the OMG girls are propped up as being the very popular group. Yeah. They're very pretty, but they shouldn't be popular because they're insane. They're nuts. They are just horny for Noah. Everyone in this film is horny for Noah.
Well, I mean, everybody watching this movie is horny for Noah.
I think the filmmaker was like, we know what we got.
But the director was probably like, oh. You know what? I bet the director's in that, horrible kind of... No, I don't want to make a fake accusation against the director. He's going to make a gag, but I'm like, no, we're not going to do accusations.
No. We've done dogfighting last episode. We've got to cool down. I looked up the director. He's done a lot of these sort of shitty TV movies. Not I say shitty, but those sort of TV rom-coms, and this is his sort of big breakout with Netflix. So he's done that for the last...
Is he doing the sequel?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, we meet the OMGs. And now because Elle is worn a sexy skirt, they're like, you can be one of us. Yeah. And Elle's like, cool, I don't really... what are you guys? You know what's really confusing to me is that these movies always have somebody popular. They're like, look, this is the popular person. But they've got such a limited, friends. These are the most popular girls. And I'm like, no, they've only got each other. Doesn't look like they're socializing.
No, exactly. Else. I don't think they're at the parties, they're in the corner.
They seem self-appointed popular. Yeah.
Which can be funny if, have you seen Booksmart?
Yes, yeah.
You sort of got those two really rich kids who, said they're popular, but they're not.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think if you're popular, you don't call yourself popular.
No.
Because you don't really... Exactly. You don't really know.
You know.
It's but it's the type of thing where I'm sure if you're you reflect on it and you'd be like, I guess I was popular when you think about how many friends you had. Yeah. Or how much you did.
And respect you have. But they can't, so the OMG girls, they have one goal, and that's to get to Noah. I don't know why they accept Ellen so early. I can't remember why. I don't think there's a reason. I think they go, men want you now. You're with us now.
Tuppence marked you.
Oh my God, Tuppence is insane.
Well, I would like to... This is a big confusion for me already, is I'm pretty sure they go and have, a clothing shopping spree in the middle of a school day.
Oh yeah, they should be at school. No one has this school is disgusting. Yeah. This school is so rich. The parties they throw for these children is insane. At the end, there's a prom. At the prom, there's a pre-prom room, which then they go to another prom. I'm like, oh my goodness.
It's pretty insane. But this is... So they go on, a clothing spree, and this is where they come up with the idea of a kissing booth. Yes. As Joel Courtney's trying on, all these terrible, shirts or whatever. And then it cuts back and she's in detention.
Yes, because she wore the skirt.
Yeah, the skirt. And Noah's in detention too. And then Tuppence has the most comedically black eye I've ever seen. Yeah. It goes from the middle of his forehead down to his lip. And it's
beaten up.
Yeah. Got hurt in the joint. And I'm like, fuck it. If at my school somebody the size of Noah threw that hard of a punch at somebody named Tuppence,
They're dead. Tuppen is never getting up. He sounds like Tupperware. Never getting up. Now Tuppen, although he's groped Elle, creepy, he's passed her a note saying, "Hey, sorry for the sexual harassment."
She like turns around and is like, he gives one of the ugliest smiles I've ever seen, and I went, I fear for her safety.
Yeah, get out of there.
And Noah's looking between this interaction going, no, fucking murder one of you. If somebody touches Elle, I'm gonna murder them.
And then Tuppen's like, what can I do to make it up for you? And then she passes him a cheeky note, or you better do this.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in and he's in a dress. And everyone's like, oh, Tuppen, that's Tuppen for you.
Classic Tuppen. He stumbles in with his cute little shaved legs that are probably, I don't know, 9 feet in height.
God, everyone in this film is over
huge.
6'5".
I think they weren't. Okay, so if Joey King is like that tall and she's 17, that means everybody that's verging on 18 should be 2 meters tall.
The parents are about 4.5 meters.
I like to think the director has height blindness. He's like, I see everybody's the same height.
You're going to have to do screen so I can see.
It's anomalisa, but height. I haven't ever talked to somebody tall. All I need is somebody tall to talk to.
Noah walks in, hey buddy. Yes,
that's you. Look at you, you're so tall. I'll never let you leave. So Tuppen's got his small little skirt on. It's like a 5-cut turn of him showing his butt.
Yeah.
And this movie has such bizarre editing. It's like...
Yeah, it's
he goes to turn. Oh, he's still turning. Oh, he's still turning. Oh, he's turned. Oh, he's going to slap. Oh, he's going to slap. Oh, he slaps.
It's very strange. And I don't know why. Is it just to elongate the film?
Maybe they were like, this movie's clocking in at only 80 minutes. How many like return cuts can we do throughout the job?
Undo.
And just like the editor just cracked all their fingers and went, oh, leave it with me, I'll stretch this. They're like, no, we only need to add 10 minutes. I'll add 25.
Because the sequel we've just seen is
2 hours and 10 minutes.
So every scene is just a redo of the last.
That's Christopher Nolan made the next one. But this is also the first time that we get my favourite returning character of the entire of the film, which is photography guy, who looks like 35.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 5 o'clock shadow. He turns around and takes like 30 photos of Tuppen and he's like... like...
Yeah, but almost close to coming.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like... yeah, Boca.
And then we never see Tuppen again. He's never given a line. He's out the film. He's in the background.
He's basically gone, let's go on a date. And she's like, you know what, fine. You groped me. Noah threw a punch at you. Let's go on a date then. He stands her up.
Yes.
Awful thing to do. So what do they do to cheer her up? They go for a dance.
Now, dancing is... I think you're right with this Wattpad idea that this author's written chunks at a time. Because dancing never really comes back. Because it's because they we need to get ready for that dance competition, and they swap it out for the kissing booth. Never comes back.
It's like the first few chapters were so intensely about rules, dancing, violence, and then when she came back after some time of not writing and finished it, and she was like, "Oh, that's good, that's consistent," and then went, "Oh no, what's all this?"
She goes, "Oh crap, I wrote it back in, scratching it out."
Oh fuck, Tuppen was in this.
Okay, so Noah's also that the reason it's understood that Noah has blocked every other guy from talking to Elle for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
Which is
which is why she's never been kissed or gone on a date. Is Noah has violently threatened anybody that is interested in.
We're about 20
Elle.
minutes in. I think 4 red flags have already gone.
Absolutely, I've gone. Noah is probably one of the most problematic love interests I've ever seen, and the amount of people that are like, I'm into this.
But my issue was Euphoria. It's the exact same character, but they just go, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, and you know what? He's more likable in Euphoria.
Is that? I was like, oh, he's getting down on his luck, whereas this one's like, no, he's great.
Yeah,
everything he does perfect.
Look at how violent he is. He is a standard for all Americans. So they decide that they're going to do a kissing booth, and they lie and they say that Noah's going to do the kissing booth with them. So they get the green light to do the kissing booth, and this is when everybody gets invited over to Noah and Lee's house for a party.
Yeah.
What goes down at this party?
She gets really drunk.
She gets unfathomably drunk.
My thing is she's not meant to be popular, and now she is popular, but it seems like she's just always been popular. But yeah, she gets very drunk, and this is when I found out that the film is not PG. I feel like a concerned parent when watching the oh my. Oh my. Because she gets up, she gets drunk, she then she's making friends with everybody. Then she gets on the table and starts stripping, and the yearbook guy again almost comes, going, yearbook. And this is like the first out of 3 where she just teases all the guys.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, is the fact that she gets up on there, starts stripping, and her best friend watches from the sidelines and does nothing, and is embarrassed.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Bad friend. He goes, oh no.
No, Elle, no. Yearbook.
Everyone in this film is so horny.
They are. You know what really annoyed me is Joey King goes up to the OMGs, and one of them goes, "What's Gucci?" And then they all laugh, and that's the scene.
That's cool. Oh, each scene about 15 seconds. We should also say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Elle's very drunk, and Noah is talking to this sort of like, she's got a lot of piercings, kind of a girl that never shows up again.
No.
And she rudely interrupts and goes, "Hey, Noah. Hey." And the girl's like, "Can you leave us alone?"
Yeah, and it's like, if you haven't noticed, I'm actually in a conversation, making out with somebody. She's like, "Hey, Noah.
Wanna look at me?"
Or like a Catwoman, Noah. And she's like, "Hey," very, very reasonably is like, "Do you mind? I'm having a moment."
Oh, they're so polite. It's the nicest Noah.
And Noah's like, "The fuck did you just say to Elle?"
Smacks this girl.
It wouldn't surprise me if he just flipped her off the house.
Flies into the pool.
She misses. Just like,
She never comes back again.
Yeah. So then she wakes up. She's gotten so drunk, she wakes up in Noah's bed.
Yes.
Which is a little point of contention. He's like, "Hey, don't worry, I slept somewhere else," or something like that. And then we learn, he's not only violent, but he's also a gentleman.
He's a gentleman. That's the best thing.
That is.
He's like a 1920s gentleman. He'll beat the shit out of anybody, but a woman, he's got a puddle of like a shirt in the puddle.
He's like, you're so sweet. Can I only imagine that he like put like his like jacket over her and is like, "You have a good night's sleep." Turns around, gets startled by his shadow, and then punches the shit out of his shadow.
He is so he punches on his wall because he's punching dry walls out. And then I think my favourite scene happens. So have you ever seen that skit? Oh, like it's like a comic panel of like accidental sex doesn't just happen. Because sex, is not an accident. This is, I think, this curtain is a character now. So she gets. Have you remember the scene?
Go on. You just take it away.
Okay.
Go on.
She takes her shirt off.
Yep.
And then I think the lead comes in or the mum comes in. She hides behind the curtain. She then rips off the curtain. She then jumps onto Noah. They get wrapped in the curtain. And she says, "Oh, I felt his penis." I'm paraphrasing, but I felt it. Because he's in a towel. She's nude. And then they just struggle in this like curtain for about a minute. Do you remember that?
It's true, and all you need is a minute.
Yep. Jesus, Carl. So yeah, I love that scene. Love the curtain.
That was your favourite. You'll love the proposal.
Oh, great.
You seen the proposal?
No, there's just curtain based sex.
No, it's like Sandra Bullock is naked coming out of the shower, and for some reason Ryan Reynolds gets nude looking out at how nice the estate is that his family lives in. And then they both turn around, they accidentally like fall into each other.
Penetrate?
They don't penetrate, but they're just like, "Ooh, we're naked together." It's an odd one. Shall we talk about the phenomenal... So, the reason that we know that Elle and Lee have such a strong, good friendship is because they're not afraid to throw paint at each other.
I think... they start... And in class, I remember
As a teacher.
I remember as a teacher. Yeah, I remember I was in ceramic class in year 10. One kid threw one glob at ceramics. The teacher threw a fit at this kid, grabbed him by the scruff, and threw him out the class. If someone started just paint fighting, they're expelled.
Oh, absolutely. As a teacher, you walk in and be like, do you realise how much paint you've just wasted?
The janitor.
And the mess that you've made. And like, you get paint on everybody. They would be in the principal's office, parents would be called in, and they'd have to go, I'm so sorry for my child.
Literally.
I'm so sorry for what they've done.
Would you like a bit of my massive house?
Yeah, do you want the 6th story? We can cut it off and put it over somewhere else in Central Africa.
Well, so the paint fight happens, and she's covered in paint, and then she just leaves.
She just walks, she's like, we've had fun, haven't we, Lee? I'm gonna walk down the halls. And she's like, but not only that, she's so covered in paint, she can't see.
Blurred.
She's walking blindly around the school in paint and goes into the boys' look.
Oh god, and then Yearbook Boy arrives again.
Yearbook Boy's like, oh my god, I can't get the phone out of my pants, my erection's so large.
God, those, I've never seen, it's like 40 males, all like 6'9".
Yeah, all 30 years and older.
Looking at this paint, like, she's like stripped down to her like bikini, and they're all like chanting. And Elle just is like, I'm going to do a striptease now.
Noah aggressively grabs her.
Oh my
as
god.
Hard as I am terrified for her life. Here's what happens. She's near naked.
Yeah.
She's blinded from paint, and a man has grabbed her violently
While
by the
40
arm.
other men scream out
Yeah.
obscenities at her.
I am terrified for her life at this moment.
Get out of there, Elle.
And that yearbook creep is there, and she reads the situation and goes, I'm gonna strip more. I'm gonna do a little dance and a jig for everybody here.
Because she doesn't do what Noah says, which I don't get because that's not like being established.
Yeah.
So this is
like it's established because she calls him Noah, and he hates being called Noah.
He does hate being called Noah. His name that I think everyone else goes by.
Oh, I don't get why they would do this. Anyway, it's now 40 minutes into the movie, and we finally get to the kissing booth.
Which is nuts.
Which is just adds to that Wattpad myth of
feels...
what's now about a kissing booth because I called it that earlier.
Oh, 100%. And this film is so like I feel like every 20 minutes, you are right, it just swaps round. It's a new film, we're doing a new thing. There's so many scenes that could have been cut. And at the end there's a lot of deleted scenes, so I'm sure they actually did cut a lot. But so then the kissing booth happens.
Yeah, and we're shown that the kissing booth is like a raging success. Would you ever do a kissing booth?
I was thinking about this. This is, Corona times where you can't be, like, touching people. But this was popular in the 50s, I think.
Yeah. Turns out this movie's set in the 50s. They have a terrible set designer.
What do you mean? I got this massive house. Fuck, okay, we'll do it.
They were like, how do we make it look like it's set in the 50s? Down to South Africa we go!
Oh, God. Jesus. But yeah, the kissing booth. I don't know what a kissing booth is. This is like this should not be this shouldn't be allowed.
I would only ever do a kissing booth if Tuppence up there.
Oh yeah, Tuppence.
If Tuppence up there and I can cut myself a slice of Tuppence.
Get him in a little dress and just smack his ass like done to Elle.
So some of the people that go and get a kiss are like the photographer goes and gets a kiss.
Yeah, from the OMG girls, because the OMG girls have been duped into thinking that Noah's going to be doing it.
And that's the only reason they're doing it. And the photographer starts taking pictures of the kiss as like a selfie thing.
Also, these people, I think Noah's the only one that's a year above. They're all 17. If an adult walks by, I don't like that. I don't like that this is a thing that's happening for
Here's
underage.
The teachers are letting them run rampant. They're throwing paint. They're making out with each other.
This is the most bougie school. That festival is nuts. The production value on this, there's so many throwaway shots of, water, dropping down machines.
Yeah.
It's insane. The budget for this was insane.
So we get to one of my favourite... It's not my favourite scene in the movie, but we get to one of my favourite things, which is we've established that Lee, the actor, is pretty cute. He's not as cute as Noah, but he's pretty cute. he puts on the mask and everybody's repulsed by him.
God.
It's like, oh no, not that normal looking person.
Not that 6'2", pretty attractive person.
What a mess.
Yeah.
I'd hate to have him, but he was covered in paint earlier. Oh, he smells like lead. He puts on a mask at 43 minutes into the movie. A random girl we've never seen before, who also looks 30. Looks like she's a mother. Probably had to get the kids babysat while she goes to this
I gotta do
teenage
this
kissing booth.
Guys, in South Africa, I gotta fly over there. Sorry.
They go, and she kisses him out of nowhere and just takes off the mask, defeating the purpose of the kissing booth.
Elle does it. All the OMG girls, actually, OMG girls don't do that, but all the other characters take off the mask to reveal. That's the whole point.
Yeah, the whole point is you're not meant to look.
Yeah, we know the rules of the kissing booth.
I would've
never been to a kissing
What
booth.
does he do if he takes it off and it's Noah kissing him?
Yeah. Oh, it'd be dreamy though, wouldn't he be happy?
Don't we want that? Wattpad, write that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an incest story
Yeah.
on what happened at the kissing booth.
Then everybody, all of these people that are watching the kissing booth, who were repulsed by Lee and didn't want to kiss him, applaud this kiss.
They applaud anything.
It's a huge audience, and there's so much applauding.
Yeah.
You know what? Fucking get this group of of people chucking into a studio.
Oh my god.
Act out 2.5 men in front of them. They'll love it.
The whole film. You can't hear anything. It's a Friends script with just a raucous of laughter.
It's definitely like, people were like, oh yeah, so we got tickets to like Jimmy Fallon the other night to go in his live audience. Turns out we got flown to South Africa and we were actors in a movie for like 9 weeks.
Did you get paid?
No, absolutely. We were near held hostage by the movie production. This guy named Toppin was walking around in a fucking skirt.
This 9-foot giant was stepped on me.
This guy took photos of every little mundane thing that happened.
And half of the rest was porno, pretty much.
So anyway, Lee immediately goes on a date with this random
Leaves
girl.
a kissing booth.
Why isn't she established as somebody that goes to the school earlier in the movie?
know, right? That's what, again, this film is so like cluttered. It's just like throw it in. Nothing's really established. No one's really followed through, and it really irks me.
So we then have Joey King, Elle, gets asked to go into the kissing booth because the OMG girls are so repulsed by this one guy who has like a retainer or something like that.
Yeah, he's a nerd, he's got like curly hair,
And then randomly he's like, hey Noah, you want to cut in line?
Oh, I hate that. Why would he give cutsies?
Because I think he wants to be friends with Noah, or maybe he wants to make out with Noah.
Oh, we all do. Though.
I don't know of the situation. Noah. So then what this causes is that Elle makes out with Noah.
Yes.
So the penultimate scene of the film, the two have finally got together.
The camera spins.
There are, and I counted them, 17 cuts during this kiss.
That spinning scene?
That spinning scene is 17 cuts. Like, the word kiss blows up.
They really explosive.
I love it if that happened throughout the movie. Just
Jesus Christ.
South
African light bulbs are so deadly.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and then just shit blows up.
In the fight in light bulbs.
So there are 17 cuts. For the audience at home who wants to... So it's a normal spinning shot. This is how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 16, 17. The fast part was the lights blowing up.
Oh, yeah. And the camera spins the opposite way.
Yeah.
So then I felt dizzy.
Oh, I was very dizzy. Not only that, they were panting after the kiss.
God,
They seemed exhausted. And then that weasel laughs and photographs and is like, right to the yearbook.
I'm gonna get my lovely kick spin off. Alright, these people, then everyone claps.
Yeah.
Now here's the part that really annoys me. Lee is annoyed at Elle for kissing Noah.
Yeah.
Whereas she's blindfolded and Noah approaches her. Why is not Lee annoyed at Noah?
Because here's that I think it is. I think both Noah and Lee were poorly raised by their parents.
Oh, I see.
Lee thinks he has ownership over Elle, and then Noah thinks he has ownership over Elle.
I mean, he has.
I think they're both awful, toxic people.
They are.
They absolutely are.
Molly Ringwald is a bad mother.
She is. Yeah, I've said it now.
Yeah. Not this character, the actress. Don't down on that.
Yeah, get her. Go on.
She's listening. Oh no.
Yeah. She also abandons poor Archie in Riverdale. I think she's in Riverdale. So what happens is they need a ride home. So Noah takes Elle for a ride home. It starts...
Just real quickly, and this is such a nothing moment, but when she runs, she's walking, but she's kind of like, I think they just couldn't, they didn't have the shot right. So they were like, just run.
And they don't have enough to do her running. Like, the shot can't go for as long as it takes for her to actually run.
So they were like, just move your hands. So she's walking and moving her hands like she's running home, and I lost it at that point. Go on with the rain. It starts to rain.
It starts pissing down with rain. And when I say piss, like, torrential, life-threatening, LA's never had rain like this before.
It's a storm.
It wouldn't surprise me if they only went to South Africa to get the storm sequence. They were like, well, there's like a hurricane every other day down there, right?
Perfect. We'll go there.
We'll put 2 actors in a gazebo in a hurricane. That's cinema.
So the motorbikes go around, but it starts to slip.
Yeah.
So Noah.
Noah's like, this is unsafe. And I'm like, pussy.
Yeah, little bitch.
You're happy to hit Toppin, but you're not happy to ride in the rain.
So they go to this gazebo, where they're making out.
Yeah, it's very dimly lit, and this is the moment that I feared the most for her life.
Oh yeah,
it's pouring with rain.
She has no escape plan.
He looks more than gigantic than he's ever looked before. They're all alone in an abandoned park. And I was terrified for her.
He says, I've taken other girls here. I can only assume...
Chilling.
They're buried under
a security guard comes in and is like, you're not murdering somebody else here, or you know her.
I love the security guard. He comes back. Yeah. I'm convinced he's a ghost.
He's somebody that Noah's also had sex with and killed her. You took me here, Noah. Now I'm stuck here haunting you. He's a gazebo ghost.
So he cock blocks them.
Yeah, he's an absolute creep. He's like, stop taking women here. I have to clean up all your jizz constantly. Old women like to sit here and have a nice time.
And I was helping 2 teens. Fucked.
Yeah. Do you realise that I stand over in that bush and wait until you finished before I have to come and clean it up?
With a hose.
Oh, and not just a hose, like the prison hose from Shawshank Redemption.
A pressure cleaner.
I have to throw powder everywhere and then just then he just throws a Bible in the gazebo.
And it keeps going back.
Yeah. And that's when the ghost is released.
All the girlfriend is killed as well.
It turns into a movie where she has to free all of the victims of Noah.
It's Coraline.
She comes back to the gazebo, it's like everyone's deflated. Thank you. You've got to get the eyes, the buttons. Oh god, I'm made so uncomfortable by Noah consistently.
Just really quickly, Carl, it flashes up, so the gazebo's just happened, and then she's like, oh, like, you know, should I be with Noah? He's a bit of a, like, you know, let's make a pros and cons list. The pros for dating Noah: he's hot, he's a good kisser, he smells yummy.
Are you sure these aren't the pros and cons for Topham?
Oh, Topham's gorgeous. Now the cons, again, so many red flags. Lee forbids it. First one. Stupid motorcycle. Dad. She doesn't like the dad? I don't think that's established.
Or her dad dislikes Noah, perhaps?
I think so, yes.
Because do we ever meet the dad?
No.
Noah's dad?
Oh, we do. He's at that, like, one...
He's at the cafe.
At the cafe. He looks very rich.
Yeah.
He's controlling. All we do is fight. He's a player.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 3, in which the pros are just hot, good kisser, yummy.
Yeah, I think the writers wrote that out and went, oh no, Noah's a monster.
It's when you're like writing a screenplay and you write down the pros and cons for your character.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're the screenwriter and you can't come up with better
ones.
pros for
Smell yummy is what they finalised on.
somebody was definitely like, you know, he does smell yummy on set, and they went, put it in.
Put it in. They don't know. Maybe it smell like crap, but they just went, it's television. They can't smell.
Crap's delicious. I describe it as yummy.
Yummy.
He smells of Justin Bieber's new album.
Bad. That's right. This is an anti-Justin Bieber podcast.
No, the new album's called Yummy, isn't it?
Isn't that song bad?
Wait, are you saying the song is bad or the song's called Bad?
No, the song is called Yummy.
You're saying the song's called Yummy, but the song is bad.
Yes.
But the album's called Bad.
This is so convoluted. Let's move on to the beach spring break scene.
Okay, yes, let's do it. Another scene that is definitely yummy. I'm just going to skip through like the montage of them just having fun and get straight to one of the other creepiest people I've ever seen in a film.
Okay.
So let me set the scene. It's nighttime. They're on the beach. This random guy walks up to Elle and is like, hey, we never did finish that skinny dip, did we?
Oh my god, you're completely right.
And I have chills running up my arm right now. I am convinced, not the character, but the actor is the Zodiac Killer.
I'm convinced it was unscripted.
Absolutely
He
unscripted.
walks up. Hey, Joey, we never did fit. They're like, can we get rid of the Joey part?
The director was like, who is that? Who is that? Noah? Somebody get us.
Noah,
somebody help her.
Beat the shit out of that man. Kill him with your muscles.
He is so creepy. And he's then like, let's go hop in the hot tub together.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is, considering they're just at a beach. But he's like, let me take you to a hot tub. And she's like, no, I don't want to go. And he's like, come on, it'll be fun. No, I don't want to go. No, seriously, come on with me. She's like, no, I don't want to go. And comedically, out of the corner of the frame, Noah walks in and is like, she said no!
He grabs him, beats the shit out of him. She's like, well, he does smell yummy. So maybe that's a positive.
As I watch Noah beat the crap out of this guy, nearly killing the Zodiac Killer, I realized, he does smell yummy. He tackles her to the ground, an intense tackle, and it just shows these shots of everybody reacting, and they're terrified of Noah.
Man.
Like, he's a monster, yet he's still the most popular boy at school.
Well, he's not. Well, let's go in back because he's definitely the hottest boy, but he's kind of
You got that straight.
yeah. Let's 100%. But he's kind of this like loner sort of character. I think he's not that. I've never seen him with other people, so he just kind of lurks in the background. Is hot and mysterious.
Well, I'd be afraid to be his friend.
Yeah, he'd kill me.
Oh my god, absolutely. Fucking murder me.
Yeah.
So Elle runs away, she's so frightened.
Yeah.
And he yells at her to get in the car.
God.
Slams his palm down on the vehicle. Like, terrifying.
Yeah.
Get in the car.
Any other movie,
I'm so uncomfortable.
Yeah, any other movie, he's the villain.
Yeah.
And we're like scared for her.
This movie literally should end with, like, her having to come to terms with the fact she has to kill Noah.
Yeah.
It's the only way I see this movie. If David Fincher made The Kissing Booth, it would end on such a high with her having to make the optimal choice of having to kill Noah.
For the safety of herself and everyone around him.
So she gets in the car because he's abused her to get into the car.
100%.
And where do they go?
They go to the Hollywood sign.
They go to the Hollywood sign to have sex.
Yes.
Now, Oscar, have you ever been to the Hollywood sign?
I actually haven't.
No. You see, I have. I have been there to have sex. No, I haven't. But I have been there.
With Noah.
I was like, Noah, are you here? I'm just up there waiting for people to be like, hey, you gonna have sex in the Hollywood sign? If so, could I join? I'm very lonely.
Is that Noah? No,
it's just Joey King.
Toughen.
Is Toughen coming? Anyway, you can't get to the Hollywood sign. Hollywood sign is enclosed by a very big fence.
Okay. So
that's a lie.
So first fault to this film, you can't get the Hollywood sign.
No. So either they edit the fence out in movies, or like I don't know, like they are genuinely at that point of location. Like clearly they've been cleared to go and shoot there.
So wait, is the fence very close to it, or is it sort of like 10 meters away so you can get away with it?
No, it's probably like from where we're standing, like over past the bathroom.
Okay, so it's quite close, and that's of course they've recreated it. But then it seems like
I assume like.
Is it temporary fencing? Do you take it down maybe for filming?
No, like I feel like surely they've just edited it out.
Now I noticed something.
Yes.
That made me go, this film is clever.
Oh yeah.
They're fucking under the L in the Hollywood sign.
Are they actually?
They are.
Fuck off.
What's her name? It's Elle. I've got chills. That's so clever. I've just written A+ story.
You know what it is? Is the fact that if you really look at it, L in the alphabet is closer to T for Tuppen than it is for N for Noah.
Wrong. Factually wrong. You've got the L.
Wow, I am absolutely on point right now, and you definitely cannot fault me whatsoever.
That's the film talking. You
Yeah,
can't fault me.
that's right. So this is that's as close as you can get to it.
Okay, so
and that picture's taken through a fence.
Okay, so it's quite hard to get. So you must get. So
I don't know if you can get up to the Hollywood sign. Perhaps, but you definitely can't go to the top of the hills and then go down. Also, look how much smog LA is just covered in all the time.
Goodness. For the audio listeners, which is all of you, Carl has now shown me a picture of the Hollywood sign.
Of when I was there. You're jealous?
You're very jealous? He went on a holiday.
That's
Have
right.
you been on a holiday? No.
What do you mean? I live in LA. We're
right.
two Australians in LA. Original title for the podcast has our backs together as it's two Aussies in LA.
What will they get up to? Probably similar things to other LAians.
Local Australians in Los Angeles. It's the LA podcast. Should we do this? Have we done it?
Wait, is it LA?
We need to pivot. Get me new notes.
The issue now is it's called the La La podcast.
We never acknowledge it. So they have sex under like the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Also, and they sleep there overnight.
They do.
One, parents should be worried she hasn't come home.
Yeah. It's a bad father.
It was covered in rain.
Mm.
Like you'd be like, oh my god, I'm worried something's happened to her. She hasn't notified the father that she's not coming home too. One, the ground would be soaking. Oh, wait, no, sorry, it hasn't been raining. I'm getting myself confused.
No, again, the film again is flawless.
I can't knock it, can I? But surely it's freezing cold to spend the whole night up there. Also, why did they have items they could sleep on? Was Noah planning to fuck her at the Hollywood sign?
I think he was. We've been shown he's a monster.
Also, so if it's filmed in South Africa, they did a lot of the shooting and then probably just went and did one scene at the Hollywood sign.
I guess so. Unless, of course, they've made it in South Africa.
Maybe, like, a studio owns a fake one?
Oh, I bet there is one. I bet, that makes sense.
And then that's one where they can, like...
just do what they want.
It looks like it's the real one. Because I've seen other... Like, Friends with Benefits has a scene there. Because, you know, here's the other thing, is, like, in the movie Friends with Benefits, they have to break in to get to the Hollywood sign, right? And then they get arrested for having broken in.
Yeah.
So these two should be getting arrested. Not only that, they're there.
Well, hang on. Noah should be arrested for many things. Breaking into the Hollywood sign is very low on the list.
We've got you for murder. Tuppen's been killed. You're the lead that we have.
He's been Sin City, where the man just punched his face in until he's just pulp. Mine have their bits wishy-washy here. I've just written so horny.
Yeah, because this is a sex montage.
Yeah.
My other thing is, so when we went walking through LA, you do these, like, it's a big, like, kind of national park walk up to the Hollywood sign. Loads of people doing it every morning. Jogs, fitness classes, little gym workouts.
Busy.
They're there. The sun's rising. Everybody would just see them naked underneath that Hollywood sign. It's so busy.
Jesus.
So busy. It really unsettled me that it's almost he took her there to humiliate her. That awful character.
I don't put it past no.
And
like, hey, he's clothed. Hey, Elle, you're nude. They can see you.
You're an embarrassment. Put your fucking clothes on.
I'm going to beat up anyone that looks at you, though.
That's right, to put you on display. But they're the ones that are culpable. Hey, it's all been a ruse to trap him in a cage. He can't get back out. No, I'm trapped here forever. And she's like, it's what you deserve.
She gets helicoptered out.
We have like a big sex montage.
Oh yeah,
Where
they 12-minute montage of them fucking. That's all it is.
This should be not in this movie. It feels so PG at sometimes. Then like
they throw in a swear word.
Then like MA and R at other times. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
One of the things they do is have sex at the school, and she has to steal the cassette tape.
I thought that'd be a big. Again, it's like these 20-minute segments of like, oh, they've been filmed at school. Maybe the whole school's gonna find out. She then goes to the principal, who, let's face it, he had the DVD like next to the TV.
It made me very uncomfortable that he had the DVD. Yeah.
So relevant, just so prominent. So it's just like, God, was he watching it? Yeah. So anyway,
he's got just a section that's like Elle throwing paint at herself, Elle in science, Elle in the boys' locker room.
Just cameras everywhere, just like, I'm documenting it. But yeah, she steals that, and it's not an issue.
Yeah,
it's a weird plot point that never comes back.
She then has to like escape Noah's house and falls down on this trampoline.
Oh yeah.
And she just bounces up and down on it, then sideways into the pool.
Yeah. So
if she had fallen, she would have just died or been crippled if the trampoline wasn't there.
Oh, 100%. And there was the bad green screen in front of Molly Ringwald.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
And then, so Lee is like, hey, what are you doing in the pool? I didn't know you were around. She's like, oh, I'm just going for a swim. He's like, all right, I'll come down. Jumps off again. Pool. Stop doing that. I'm fearing for your safety, Lee. Stop jumping in the pool.
You're my favourite character somehow.
But then he's like, hey, you got a message. Why'd you put a lock on your phone? She's like, oh, my little brother keeps trying to get into it. And I'm like, he's so invasive.
Lee is a bad person and a bad friend, I think. I mean, sure, she's sleeping with her brother, and I get that's an issue. That is one of the rules.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah. Terrible human being.
Yeah.
So we now get to my favourite scenes in the movie.
Oh my god.
This is...
Up until now, other than the dying mother, like, the tone's been quite cheeky.
Oh, it has. Are we prepared? I don't think so. Noah is fixing his motorbike in the garage.
Yes. And
he's like, hey, Elle, can you pass me that wrench? She grabs the wrench, a toolbox falls on her head.
It sounds like she's died. She sounds like everything has come crashing down and she's crippled for life.
It's like
just crumbling buildings.
Yeah.
She gets up, she's got a minor scar.
Yeah, she's got one of the smallest scars I've ever seen on anybody ever. He then begins to fix her face, and I wrote it down. He's like, just summarizing here. She's like, hey, how do you know how to like fix up scars and bruises? And he's like, I get into a lot of fights. I've got to learn how to do that. He's like, that's just how I'm wired though, is violence. I have to see counselors, I'm so violent. I'm all fucked up, but do you think I can change? And I'm like, oh my god, what is this from? Suddenly, Lee is just in the room.
Lee's in the room. And he just starts accusing Noah, did you hit Elle? First off...
Insane!
Why would he... I think Noah and Elle are like, no, he didn't. Why would he do that?
But here's the thing. Finally, somebody's acting rational. If she genuinely has a mark on her, and I look at their relationship with Noah, I'm making the exact same accusation. He's finally doing the right thing. He comes to that intense, like, just hurling accusations. He is on the verge of tears.
Everyone's on the verge of tears.
The accusation makes Noah so upset, he gets violent towards Lee.
Which again,
and then,
the worst did you hit her? No, I'll hit you to prove it.
That's how accusations work. She then gets in the middle of these two and is like, stop it, you two.
Monsters.
And then she goes and takes him out, and he's like, hey, are you dating Noah? Yeah. And she's like, no, I'm not. Now let's go home. And he's like, I'll go get the car ready. You go get your things. She goes back up to 30. It's been 30 seconds. Yeah. She goes back up and is like, I think we should tell Lee. And he's like, I think you're right. They make out. Lee's in the room again.
And he's like, oh, now, the problem with this is, the massive problem with this, why have both scene where both scenes, you could have picked even a couple walked off, but you could have had one scene where he tries to hit her, he's just walked away.
I can't do it! It makes no sense!
Shige, one scene, you pick either Lee walking in on them kissing, but it's like, are you dating? That's fine. But they go for this, you punched him, you murdered him, and then, they went for both subplots. It's insane. And it makes them...
they've done... This should be one scene.
Yeah, one...
It's so comedic that he walks in on them twice in on
Hey, I forgot my wallet.
What? Oh my god, Lee, you've been abused. Oh my god, Lee, you're making out with him. Like, it's so bizarre. Lee runs away to his car. She's in tears. Noah's upset. They're also upset. They run away. She's like, Noah, stay here.
Yeah. I'm
gonna handle this. She runs up. She's like, Lee, don't go. Noah's there. Anyway, he's like, starts being violent towards Lee. And then, this is where I really turn against Lee. And he's like, what, you've been fucking Elle? And then it's like, calls her a slut.
Oh my god. He's
basically like, what, you've been fucking this slut, have you? And I'm like, whoa.
Lee's a bad friend. Yeah, you mean like, he's just another one of your sluts. And Elle's like, she's the opposite of a slut. She's a committed person's relationship. Yeah. This broken, awful relationship with a violent monster. But she's not a slut.
But what's crazy, she's like, nothing's happened. And he's like, so you're going to tell me you haven't been fucking. And it's such like, so derogatory and like intense. God. Like, I don't get why this is happening in this romantic teen comedy on Netflix.
It feels so off. I feel like the author had just a bad day, wrote that out, and I'll delete it later.
Oh, they're all just bawling their eyes out. Noah's on top of Lee, like, shaking him and is like, don't cry! This isn't about you! And he's like, get off me! Get the fuck off me! Like, it's so intense. And Joey King's to the side, like, losing her freaking mind, like, in tears, wiggling around. And then he, like, so Lee just gets up and, like, drives away.
Yeah.
And then it, like, flashes forward. They haven't spoken in a while. And Joey King's like, I know what'll fix this. Ice cream. That's rule number 39.
39. No, it was 2. It's been so low. It's so low in the rules. I was furious. But...
it doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't work. But then I've written it kind of does. Because, like, the next scene he forgives her.
Yeah, the next scene he's like, hey, you want to dance?
The dancing motif comes back.
Oh, you know why? Because this movie's consistent.
That's my biggest issue. It doesn't take any risks.
Yeah, what annoys me is this script is so consistent and tightly wound that everything pays off too well.
Where's Tuppen?
Here's what I think's happened. Tuppen's so huge, he's fallen on his back like a turtle and can't get up.
Oh no, I wanted to assault women's involved, but I can't do it from on the ground.
So they end up dancing and just like fixes their relationship, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come to prom with me?"
And Prom
and my girlfriend.
Yeah.
They go off to prom, and Prom is like,
"Oh my god,
this is like $1 million prom."
So they got the pre-prom, which is a massive room, and then full of like pictures, like the yearbook guy. I'm surprised that's paid off.
So here's what I don't get is if you think back to all of the weird, creepy pictures yearbook guy has taken, none of them are anywhere near as like artsy and beautifully framed as all of these photos that are up there. Let's talk about the ones he's taken. It's Tuppen in a dress.
Yep.
Him making out at the kissing booth,
which is it's not a selfie.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly shot.
Yeah. Joey King, like, naked, covered in paint.
Oh, yeah, it's, like, tasteful, but again, that's porn.
Yeah, frankly, I'm surprised the yearbook guy didn't photograph the little fight that they had. It's just up there, like, it's just, like...
framed gorgeously, it's got, like, the Fibonacci spiral of him punching.
Can you imagine it gets there? It's not even a prom, it's just, like...
an art gallery?
No, it's not even an art gallery. It's an intervention for Noah's violence, and it's all of the pictures of Noah's violence.
All the people you've hurt.
Look at them all. You've driven Joey King to alcoholism, and she's passed out in the corner.
Noah just starts punching the pictures to just get some... Okay.
So it's a pre-prom to get down like a huge hallway of pictures. I don't know who printed these out. I don't know how they were made.
Yeah.
They're so nice and everything. They get to the end, and somebody rebuilt the kissing booth in another room.
Insane. Because for us, the audience, it works. Because, I mean, it doesn't really.
doesn't.
Because it's like...
I could care less about the
if
kissing
this
booth.
wasn't called the kissing booth, you'd be like, oh, that's weird. Why they rebuilt that? But everyone else that's at the school, it was like a blip. Because that was a big carnival. So all those other, like... You'd be furious if you were like, I don't know, throwing the...
Absolutely. They were like... Basically, somebody was like, hey, remember when my booth over here cured famine?
Yeah.
Changed the whole world. And they're like, yeah, but did no one make out with anybody there?
Yeah, well, that next one cured, raised 200 grand for cancer.
You know what? For sure, that somebody needs to be like, I'm going to sue the kissing booth. All the lights blew up and I'm blind now.
Glass flew in my eyes. That spinning camera hit me in the face.
Oh! So they've rebuilt it. Also, during this, there's two random guys that are dancing, bump into each other, look at each other, start to dance together, and that's the gay representation for the movie.
Oh, was that what that was?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, I blinked and missed that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
that what he looks back and goes, hey.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, did somebody from Pixar write this and go, look, representation?
A Disney exec was like, you gotta just throw in one.
Yeah, absolutely. Could we get Josh Gad from Beauty and the Beast in here?
No, he's filming Artemis Fowl 5. He's eating so much dirt.
He's working with Kenneth Branagh yet again. He picks out the fucking olives that get caught in his mustache. Sucks them out like a vacuum.
Prom happens. I'm not sure if they say it at the prom. Elle says to Noah, nobody wants us to be together. One person doesn't want them to be together, and Noah's beating the shit out of them. And now they've overcome the adversity. Everyone's happy for them to get together, and Lee's can't be like, yeah, I'm
Noah's like, I've eliminated the problem. I've threatened violence against them. We're free to be together. Literally, nobody could give a shit.
Yeah.
We could say anything and they'll applaud.
We've got a crowd ready.
Yeah. So so basically he just emerges uninvited to prom.
So he's like
weird.
He's a year older than
It's very intense. It's very creepy. I absolutely do not condone anything Noah's done now.
No. Okay, this is the last straw.
Yeah.
Turn up to prom uninvited.
Oh no.
What a nerd.
It's absolutely. You were cool when you were violent, but now you're lame.
Oh,
you're like
sissy.
prom. Gay. One of the gay representation is just like gay.
It's like we can say it. We got him.
Yeah.
He went to that boy.
Then Noah and Lee have like a heart to heart. They're like, he's like, hey, I'm sorry I beat the shit out of you. And Lee's like, I'm not really sorry for anything that I've done.
Yeah, I fear for my life though. So I'll
Absolutely. Pretty much he's like, hey Noah, if I still disapprove of this, will you kill me? And Noah's like, yes. Yes, I will. I will feed you to the Zodiac Killer.
No, I've already killed him. I've already murdered him cold sweat.
Do you know why the house is so big? It's a murder house. The whole bottom basement's just filled with all of the bodies and everything that has had to be covered up throughout the time.
That's what his dad do. She just covers up murders.
Absolutely.
Noah, again?
Seriously, Noah, again. The gazebo. Oh.
We'll have to hire another janitor and kill him and hold the gun.
There was a witness this time.
Oh, God.
So it just cuts to their birthday party. And
The
this
next day.
Yeah, and this is like another thing that confuses me. I'm so led to believe they're unpopular, but everybody, even Tuppence at the birthday party.
Yeah.
All of them are there. Anyway, she's dressed as Catwoman. Lee is dressed as Batman. And we find out that rule number 1 is only your best friend gets to know your birthday wish, which is very random because they prioritize that over always be happy for your friend's successes.
I hoped that they established these rules on like a birthday, because if not, that's like out of my mind. Birthday wishes are not my mind unless it's my birthday.
I would have loved it if they established it 30 minutes before the movie. like she's like, let me catch you up to speed, and she's like, oh yeah, and during this day at the pool that we're starting at, we just made up some rules.
Yep, here you go.
So so they're all having like a really fun time, and Elle's standing in the corner looking at just all of the couples from the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how crushing. And she thinks back and she remembers her first kiss with Noah. It's again that spinning shot that is just terrifying. And then she begins to just cry and run away again. And I'm like, she needs to stop exiting like this. Hold back the tears. Don't let people see them.
That's the nicest thing anyone said to her. Stop crying.
You need to stop crying. I'm surprised Noah's not there with his fist above him and is like, stop crying or I'll clog you.
I'll block your tear ducts so quickly.
I'll rip your tear ducts out. You'll never cry.
I've done it to that boy before.
Oh my god, it wouldn't surprise me if Noah just like joked at her so she's smiling all the time and it's like, look how perfect our relationship is.
Look at her, she's smiling. He punches the smile under her.
So then this is another thing that I love in this movie. So Elle gives this speech that's like, hey, just because we're best friends doesn't give you the right to tell me who I can and can't love. If I said to you, you couldn't date Rachel, what would you do? And he's straight up like a dumper. Yeah. Immediately shuts down her argument.
And she went, well, you wouldn't.
Yeah. and he's like, no, I would. I'd do that for you.
I'm a really good best friend.
Yeah, seriously, I would do that for you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
No matter how you react from now on, know that I am more committed to this friendship than you. I've never seen shuts down so quickly.
And she's just like,
Yeah, her comeback is, oh, well, yeah, you know what? The rules don't fucking matter.
Yeah, which is the script notes. Like,
Yeah.
shit, they don't know.
Yeah, was I supposed to read that one out from the script, or is that just a note to fix this section?
Roll with it. We're on film. We haven't got anything.
But it's so weird as well because there's like, it looks like there's 60 rules. Or it feels like there's a lot of rules, and there's only 1 to 7.
Well, it flashes up. I remember seeing 25. There's like 25, I think, rules.
Yeah.
We'll have to look them up, but it seems like quite a few. Now has Lee got her in the car yet?
Let's just go to it. So Lee's like, fine, I love you, I want you to be happy, let's go after Noah. He's already gone to like the airport or something like that, right?
He's gone to Harvard.
Because he got into Harvard. So he's like, hey, you can drive. I'll meet you at the car in 5.
Driving.
Yep.
Weird.
Yep. So Lee runs off, and then it cuts to she's in the car with now Batman, right?
Well, it's Lee, is it not?
It's definitely Lee because, and my understanding is Lee and Noah are the exact same height and build,
and have the
correct?
exact same voice.
They do. Same chin line. It's not like one of them has a very distinctive mole on their chin.
Yep. One's built like a monster, and one's an average boy.
So they're driving. She's like, I've got to get to Noah. He pulls off his mask. It's been Noah in the car all along. It's been 5 minutes. She nearly crashes the car.
Oh my god, I thought the car was going to crash and it'd be a bloody murder, and that was the end.
He's so much bigger than Lee. How could you not see this?
Can you not hear it? Do you not say a word?
Could you imagine? He pulls it off, pulls off the mask, it's Tuppen.
Now that would have been a true kissing move.
So they drive for 5 minutes.
I've written the Batman reveal. Lame.
It is.
It's just lame.
It's trying to be so heightened and romantic, and I'm like, I think less of Elle for falling for this.
She's an idiot.
I'm now like, you know what? She deserves to be with Noah. If she's going to be make this dumb decision. You know what would be so annoying? It's the fact that her mother's up in heaven looking over her and is like, you're making bad life decisions. I didn't die just so you could do this. So my confusion over this is, when was this planned? So did Lee and Noah come up with this plan the night before?
They say in the car, they go, Elle goes, oh, was this Lee's idea? And he goes, yep, he's the trickster.
So was Lee like, let's make her feel like shit for the entirety of the birthday, have less time with Noah, and then we'll just reveal it at some stage?
Yeah.
And but Lee also threatens to break up with his girlfriend. It's very confusing.
It's so muddy.
It's so muddy. Anyway, so they're in love. It just cuts. They're at the airport with him. And then the ending of this film is like, hey, love doesn't last. He goes to college. What was this for? What was the point of this adventure?
Because he's a douche. It seems like he's just used her.
Yeah.
And then it's like, right, I'm off to college, fuck some babes.
Yeah.
She gets a motorcycle out of this. She gets his motorcycle.
She gets the motorcycle, and then they tie it back into the kissing booth because it ends on the note, who would have thought this all would have happened because of a kissing booth? Tonally very odd.
Totally.
Really weird way to leave the film.
Yeah, I would have thought it's like a La La Land. Like, I guess they will never go. Maybe it's a trilogy. Maybe it's like a before trilogy.
It's absolutely bizarre. And then the credits start rolling. My last note is the credits have weird lesbian stuff in it.
Oh, so you're homophobic now.
It's like, it just seems creepy because it's like the photographer guy is just watching two girls make out and then two girls threaten to make out at the party.
Is this the...
It's like they just cut out all of like weird stuff.
I thought it was bloopers, but it's not.
It's deleted scenes.
Yeah.
And because they trip and laugh and dance a lot.
Yeah, but it looks like staged bloopers.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to end the film.
It is. It's like they'd edited the... So it's like, you can usually tell bloopers because they haven't been cropped, edited, or color corrected.
Yeah.
But they had for this.
Yeah.
So it was like bloopers of deleted scenes that had been edited for the film.
It's just a mess.
Just really odd. And if that's the credits, you know what? This is one of the only movies I've ever seen that fucks up the credits.
Yeah. What do we do? Deleted 6?
It's like they were like, hey, so like, what are we supposed to do for credits? I've never made a movie before. I don't know, usually you just have all the people that made it and they start to like work their way up and they're like, what if we edited scenes nobody saw and then only put the bloopers for those non-edited scenes into the credits? And they're like, sure.
Whatever.
You could just do black rolling screens. No, I like the bloopers idea.
Bloopers? Or deleted scenes?
No, not bloopers.
Deleted scenes?
No, not deleted scenes.
Okay, well then what are we doing?
Oh, both.
Oh, both. Do we have credits?
No.
Put them in the side.
Put them to the side. Alright, so Oscar, who would watch this?
I mean, this is probably the easiest one. I think it's just people that... I think it's it's teen girls that are younger, so they can't watch MA content, but this film tricks them into thinking, oh, it's a bit of a kid's film, but it's not. It's that sort of like, I'm 13, I want to watch sex and swears.
I think it's definitely for people who like Noah Centineo films.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is one of the worst ones on Netflix. It's a delightful amount of fun, in my opinion, of just stupidity and inconsistency. But
structurally,
it's so bizarre, and tonally, it's just all over the place. But in comparison to movies like, I think the thick of it or something, there was one where it was like a lesbian girl and a guy. That was good, I thought. And then there was another one. What was it? To All the Boys I Loved Before.
I think that was quite good.
That one's good. The sequel, not so much. So we'll see where this one kind of falls down on it. But I think there's a Netflix audience that is like precisely for this. Clearly, it became one of the biggest like Netflix original films.
Oh yeah, it got so many.
It's huge, and I'm sure a lot of people are excited about the watching the sequel. Perhaps. You know, there's it's funny because Zach Braff was talking about, because he's worked with Joey King on his film. I wish you were here or something like that. And this movie was so big that the Netflix changed the poster to just be Joey King.
Zach Braff.
And Zach Braff is not on the poster.
You'd hate to be Zach Braff. So we established this film is not for Zach Braff.
Absolutely not.
13 to 15-year-old
They
girls.
cut him out of Scrubs, put Joey King in.
Oh, that would be gorgeous.
Alright, so Oscar, what did you watch as a palate cleanser?
Man, I watched this in 2 steps. Each film, I keep just... This is the last thing I've watched. This is the last thing that's been on my mind. I've been sitting on this and I haven't had anything. It's been a bit crushing. I went off and just went on and just looked up YouTube videos on this, and it's you can tell the target audience.
You seem unwell.
I seem unwell.
You need to watch a good film to kind of splinter this up. I myself, because I've always seen a palate cleanser because I get so depressed after watching a bad movie and I lose hope in the entertainment industry. But I watched Andy Samberg's new film, Palm Springs.
I would love to see that.
Which I thought was absolutely terrific and delightful and very clever and well acted, and I think everybody should watch it. And it is available now on Hulu.
Wrap it up real quick, but is that like a Groundhog Day? Is that the sort of premise?
Yep.
Cool.
But it's very, very different though. Okay. Just in terms of the fact that that's, it's really clever in the terms of, if I won't spoil it for who hasn't seen it, but it's Andy Samberg's already been living in the loop for just decades.
Yeah.
And so he's like a pro at it, and then suddenly this girl just comes into the loop, and she kind of has to come to terms with it, and he's already kind of had his soul crushed and kind of come to the inevitability that he's going to be stuck there forever, and she kind of has to learn that she's also stuck there forever too.
That's really cool.
And it is a really good example of a movie that I think is very funny and clever, and then transitions into a really good drama.
Fantastic.
So yeah, and I'm also a very big fan of Groundhog Day and Source Code, so it's very much up my alley. I really like movies where they're like, oh, we're reliving something.
So I get Edge of Tomorrow?
Sorry?
Have you seen Edge of
Yes, big fan of Edge of
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, so those movies they're pretty solid.
That's a
But
recommendation.
yeah, I recommend everybody watch. If you're thinking of watching The Kissing Booth, don't watch Palm Springs.
There you go.
So yeah. Alright guys, well thanks for listening, and you can join us next week when we review The Kissing Booth 2.